So yesterday I got in a little argument, which wasn't that bad, but it got annoying. And it was based off of drug use. Now, I have some experience with drug use, and I'm not happy about it. But also, I was never going towards the drugs. It was always an environment being around me. I was homeless. I finally got a place to rent, which was a room. And, roommate was lying to me saying that he only sold weed, when really here and there he got rid of a couple things saying he was doing his buddy a favor. I didn't want to be around any of that. I grew up in a place where there was a lot of that around already. But one thing that got annoying was when me and this person were arguing, it was based off of somebody using meth. And I told him, meth usually doesn't kill people by smoking. You usually smoke it, then you snort it, then you hot rail it, then you then you shoot it up. And that stuff really is too strong and potent in your bloodstream. But I was explaining to him that even though I wasn't happy using it, I figured out the best way to make sure people don't go down the longest road. Like, for instance, one guy said, you ever shoot up, whatever? It was one of my roommate's friends. I said, no, you won't ever do it. Your immune system, your tolerance gets higher. And so instead of smoking it, you end up trying to do it different ways to blast off. You end up shooting it up. And one day you're thinking you're okay, and you end up shooting up too much. Next thing you know, you get like it's just, you end up ODing. You could have it mixed. You could probably just whatever. It's still not the right way to go. You do lose teeth when you snort it, when you throw it in your mouth, when you let all that crystallized stuff dissolve your lungs, your throat, your gums. But the original plant it comes from, it'd be a lot healthier if it didn't have any of the extra stuff. But like I said, it's not healthy at all. It's just more of a old school Indian type of medicine, because you had peyote, you have that plant, and then you have you have marijuana, you have all these different plants. And when you mix things like the plant root with things that are really crystallizing, that's when it starts making people go wig out and flip out. I mean, I've had some crystal meth before that one time I took a hit and I was on the table like that, and it wasn't real crystal meth. I've had crystal meth where I'm like, I'm all right, and all of a sudden you see that, and it's like, what the heck? And it's because the battery acid, the fluid, the battery fluid, the jet fluid, things like that. I'm telling people that it's not healthy, but I love to tell people how to try to live a little bit healthier without the wigging out. When you see a bunch of people that use drugs and they're constantly smoking it from beginning to end, it's nasty, it's bad. The medical side, as far as me knowing a little bit about this, say this was a pipe even though it don't look like it. It's a bowl piece from a bong. But as soon as you light it and melt it and you go and you blow out, you're getting a little bit of the chemical crystallized stuff that's on the outside of it. Then it's dripping, melting. And then when you're hitting it, boom, 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 you got to not burn it, because then you start making a stinky smell. And then when it gets lower, smaller, when it starts getting darker, you throw it away. You don't smoke meth constantly till it's black in the bowl. A lot of people would do that, and they're like, oh, fuck it. Like, it's my meth. I only have like $10, 20 or whatever. There's so many people on the streets that are homeless, and they only get in worse condition if they don't try to better their lives in the smallest ways. You're still going to go pick up a sack? Okay, well, know how to smoke your sack without harming yourself. Don't shoot up. Don't do hot rails. And barely take a little bit each day. And if you can, take a little bit each day and lower your tolerance and get off of it. Sometimes people want to get off of this meth by, smoking a lot one day and then say, all right, I got to go to rehab. It is such a fucking kick in the head and the ass when you go party that hard and then you expect to just get off that quick. You can't. It hurts. When I'm sobering up, or like how I got to sober up, I had to buy a sack once or twice, even though I left it all behind, because it's a tolerance you have to lower. You can't just shut off. And for using for a bit, I can say that I still get nightmares. There's nightmares where you're all happy, you're about to go get a sack. Your friend gets a sack. You guys somehow dig into it or don't, and then run around the whole streets like, yeah, I got one. And it's just one day's worth of like getting happy, and then you wake up later like, huh? And you're like, oh my God. Ugh, I'm glad I'm not doing that no more. It is a sickness to be addicted to something that you naturally didn't like. Something that you didn't know anything about. And sadly, the streets taught you a lot about it to like it. It wasn't the people that were using it. It was those that want to keep you, mind, body, and spirit, this small. If you don't know how to use your intellect, if you don't know how to use your pineal glands, if you don't know how to reach your primal instinct, these are things that you won't be able to with constant use if and you don't at least use your addiction to at least study. When I was younger, my sisters were on drugs. My dad's girlfriend was on drugs, who he had kids with, and they all fucking ran around and they fucking did terrible stuff. My guitar that I never got to practice with got stolen. My dad blamed me, saying he didn't want to be a rock star. I even had to tell him, I said, Dad, you only wanted me to play guitar so you could get rich. You didn't show me that you were so enlightened that I ended up wanting to use a guitar every day right away. These are the sad steps of being a good parent. And he's a great parent for keeping food on the table, but a lot of discipline without any recovery talk, any support, nothing. It was just always, really, really hands-on. So I don't blame him these days because he is older. And one thing I notice about older people is just like a parent has fun taking care of a little child until they get older, sometimes the kid has fun with the parent and loves them just as much as a parent loves a child. But as far as that goes, I wish the streets would get off of this crank, off of this dope, off this amphetamine, off the heroin, off the coke. When you're doing coke, it doesn't make any sense to, like I could go, like if I was to do it, it's not the addiction, it's that I'm trying to feel a feeling that's more than just, what am I doing here? Oh, all this stuff on the table? Yeah, okay, no. Okay, let me see if I feel it. Oh, yeah. By that time, you already did an 8-ball. And everyone else is like, and I'm like, I don't feel nothing, I won't ever touch heroin, morphine. If I'm in a car accident or something, I'll be like, all right, put that to the IV. Hey, how are you, cousin? You'd be like that. But when it comes to everything else, stay as organic as you can. When you look at old school smoke gods or fire breathers, you'll look at these men that actually played with smoke and they didn't get hurt or nothing because they're spiritually enlightened and they're performers as well as digging into, supernatural powers, unnatural and natural. So, my video is not to encourage anybody to use drugs. It's to figure yourself out and get the best type of treatment for yourself that you could put on yourself. People go to rehab. They go in there, they act good, they come back out, they party, they're twice as bad. Some people that get rehab, I'm thankful that if it worked, thank you, rehab. But a lot of these places, shelter, homeless places, rehab, detention centers, it is all set up just to make you crazier and put you away and get paid for it.